Teliessin Reborn by Ridler. There's a superscription from Teliessin through Logre by Charles Williams. The ship and the song drove on. At that time, some were disturbed by the music moving from the horizon, but they were chiefly men who lived on the coast, who, hearing, could also see, saw that the moving music irritated the waters, saw waves flung and foam following, while that country, sea coming after the waves and the sound, sailed slowly upon them, whose shores were birth, whose towers were order, whose woods in leaf meal the material of man. Then, in the bright and blinding mist of its approaching, it disappeared from sight. Some were relieved, and almost, though never quite, forgot. But some were obliged to know that the being of this country, through the passage of ear and eye, had pierced into the heart, and from that seat interpreted experience, taught them how, the time they breathed, earth they devoured, their rituals and their money, the map too of seas and states, had here their form and relation. But for the most part it came unheard, unseen, and was unsought. But yet that country had long been visible on clear days, to those that were capable, from towers in the town, from hills and the seashore. Some thought it a mirage, and looked no more, the flat vision of infancy not outgrown. And some thought it, although, as they would own, a fact in the landscape, nor the soul's concern. And there were some who could discern the rock behind the mirage, through the spray and rainbow of fancy, the precise line. And few, lastly the very few, had seen cast on the level sand, as if on a screen, their own vast shadows, shapes of the true self in the moment of heaven or the narrow eye of love, the depth and height of an unguessed perfection, but each split with a shaft of contradiction. There was the real map of England. By the deep valleys of potentiality rose the peaks of her fulfilled power. The sprawling skerries of half-submerged desire confused the coasts and the islands of plain longing. A country of conscious being, of contemplated life, and some tried to express in words the essence of what they descried. They did not point the meaning, so indeed the myth was to each according to his need. This and his powers determined what he heard. But after centuries the grooves grew blurred. Myths of Arthur, the Grail, the wounded king were jumble for poets, play for children, a spring of endless ink for scholars, and still lacked full meaning. So it was time that we saw it again, and remembered that our footsteps echo in another world. Even concrete cannot imprison that reverberation. But now for our generation this world is understood, is named and commanded in its pathos and significance. The symbol that would burn the naked hand, conveyed to blood and heart by the insulation of verse. This poetry of which I write, in its coarse, flexible mesh, rich with a strange juxtaposition of colours, here and there snarled or gaudy, but still strong-fibred, with common words in a strange dye, with knots of metaphysic. This is the mesh that drew the loud myth so close. the manuals coupled, the echo instantaneous. This at last compelled the slow sea coming, and loosed upon England the invisible virtues. And now, shall we know ourselves for what we might be, cease to fight, to rape the earth, to fear, cease even to die? If any art could change us, or the strangeness of a myth, we should have altered long ago. We remain as we were, but like the invisible knight Garlon, who punished unseen a terror, an outrage, yet finally a friend, like our seemingly wasteful and unforgivable pain, and the insult of death, it is a Holy Ghost that works among the fallen. Nothing in the end is lost.